You think you understand liquidity, but what you understand is just the surface. The core, where money is actually created and extracted, you've never truly touched. You open a chart, you see candles, you see structure, you draw support and resistance, you wait for confirmation, you believe you're reading the market. But the cold truth is, you're not reading the market. You're reading the aftermath of a hunt, and you are the prey. Liquidity doesn't sit on the chart. It lives inside repeated human behavior, yours and millions of others. You think liquidity is volume. You think it's where transactions are heavy. It's not. Real liquidity is where transactions are forced to happen, not optional, mandatory. An entry is your decision. A stop loss is your obligation. And the market doesn't hunt decisions, it hunts obligations. Look at yourself. You spot a clean support level. Price has reacted there multiple times. You label it a strong zone. You wait for price to return. You buy. You place your stop just below the recent low, exactly where every trading textbook tells you to. You feel safe. You feel structured. Then price taps down. Just one move. It tags your stop. You're out. And immediately after, price reverses, expands, leaves without you. You sit there in silence. You don't understand what just happened. But if you step back, you'll see something you've never truly seen before. You weren't the only one who saw that support. Thousands saw it. You weren't the only one placing stops below it. Thousands did the same. And in that moment, a liquidity pool was formed, a reservoir sitting right beneath what you called safe. The market didn't break that level because it was weak. It broke it because that's where what it needed was located. You. Not just you, but everyone positioned like you. You believe you're trading logic. From the market's perspective, you're executing a predictable script. You see a breakout. You enter. You see price compressing, testing highs repeatedly. You think, the more tests, the higher the chance of a break. It sounds rational. Then the breakout comes. A strong candle clears the high. You feel urgency. You buy. You place your stop below the breakout structure. Everything is correct, based on what you've been taught. Price pushes slightly in your favor, just enough to validate you. Then it reverses, drops, hits your stop. And only after sweeping everything does it actually move higher. You call it a false breakout. In reality, nothing about it was false. It was required. Sellers had stops above the highs. Breakout buyers entered on the break. All those orders converged into a single point, a perfect liquidity cluster. The market didn't break the high to move up. It broke the high to trigger those orders. You weren't wrong. You were simply right at the exact moment liquidity was needed. So you start questioning. Maybe your strategy is flawed. You switch indicators, you change time frames, you try new systems, you study more, you optimize. But the outcome doesn't change. You still enter and get stopped out. You still exit and price moves in your original direction. You still hesitate and miss the real move. Something feels off, but you're missing one critical piece. You change tools. But you never change how you generate liquidity. No matter the method, you still enter at obvious locations, place stops at logical levels, act on clean signals. And that is exactly what aligns you with the crowd. The market doesn't care what strategy you use. It only needs to know what you will do when you see a familiar structure. You think you're reading the market. In reality, the market is reading you. How many times have you moved your stop loss? You're in drawdown. You don't want to lose. You widen the stop. You tell yourself, give it more room. Price keeps moving against you. You hold. You hope. Until a point, you can't take it anymore. You close the trade, right at the low. And then it reverses. You think it's a psychological weakness. Look deeper. When you move your stop, you delay liquidity. When you manually close, you become the liquidity. The market doesn't need to take you out anymore. You've handed yourself over. How many times have you won, only to give it all back? A winning streak builds confidence. You size up. You execute faster. You question less. Then one loss. You want it back. You re-enter. Another loss. You increase again. Within hours, everything is gone. You call it greed. But in reality, you just transformed yourself into a larger liquidity source. Bigger size means bigger stops. Stronger emotion means more predictable behavior. You're not just liquidity. You're high-quality liquidity. Do you see it? In all of these scenarios, you're not stupid. You're not uninformed. You are doing exactly what you were taught. And that is precisely why you remain on the side being extracted. Liquidity is not something you find on a chart. It is constructed from your beliefs, your actions, and your stop placement. You don't see liquidity, but you constantly create it. And every time you enter a trade, you position yourself in a place the market can use. You are not an observer, you are part of the system. A system where your predictable behavior becomes the fuel for price movement. You're still looking at the market from the outside. You see price, you see patterns, you see signals, but you've never examined how the other side collects information about you before they act. Liquidity isn't just where orders sit, it's where behavior becomes most visible. And the so-called smart money, if you want to frame it that way, doesn't trade based on predicting direction. They trade based on the ability to read and exploit collective behavior. That shifts the entire framework. You're not being hunted because your stop loss is wrong. You're being hunted because the way you place it can be anticipated with high statistical confidence. Now step into what most traders never see, behavioral data. Every time you place a trade, you're not just sending a buy or sell order, you're broadcasting a data set. Where you enter, where you place your stop, how long you hold, how you react under pressure. One trade is noise. Millions of trades form a map that answers questions like, at this price, what percentage of traders will panic if price moves slightly further? At that level, how many will chase a breakout? How many pending orders are waiting? And how many stops are clustered? You might think this is theoretical. It isn't. This is the foundation of modern market structure. No one needs to guess you. They model you. And once behavior is modeled at scale, it becomes probabilistic certainty. This is where algorithms enter. Not the kind you're using on your chart, but systems that process order flow in real time. They don't ask, where will price go? They ask, if price goes here, who will be forced to act? That's a different question entirely. You look at charts and think in terms of direction. The system looks at behavior and thinks in terms of forced reaction. Imagine a zone where a large number of traders are long. They're sitting on small profits. Their stops are placed just below a clear support level. What does the system see? Not strong support. It sees, if price is pushed below this level, a wave of stop losses will trigger. Profitable traders flip into losing positions. They close. Some reverse. A cascade of sell orders emerges, not by choice, but by obligation. That is liquidity. Not something you willingly provide, something you are compelled to provide. This is where most traders fail to understand. The highest value liquidity doesn't sit in limit orders. It sits in forced execution. Stop losses, margin calls, forced exits. That is the real fuel of the market, and algorithms are designed to locate where these forced actions will occur. You think you control your trade, but when price hits your stop, control is gone. You become flow, and that flow was anticipated. Go deeper. Have you noticed how aggressive sweeps tend to occur when you least expect them? At session opens, at session closes, right after prolonged calm. That's not random. That's when liquidity has accumulated, behavior has stabilized, and the cost to trigger a reaction is minimal. Algorithms don't act constantly. They wait. They wait until the probability of a successful move is optimized. At that point, a relatively small push can trigger a chain reaction. You see a spike. They see released liquidity. You panic. They execute. You think smart money moves price. In reality, they initiate conditions. They don't need massive capital if they know where the crowd will move price for them. That's the edge, not creating movement, but igniting it. You've seen it. Price breaks a clear level and accelerates, not because of sudden strength, but because late buyers jump in, shorts get stopped out, losing traders are forced to exit, all at once, a domino effect. And that domino chain was staged. You call it a fake breakout. From another angle, it's a probe. The system is testing. How many participants will respond? How much liquidity can be activated? If the response is sufficient, continuation follows. If not, reversal and relocation. You're playing a game where the signal doesn't determine the outcome. The crowd's reaction to the signal does. That's why the same setup sometimes works, sometimes fails, with no clear reason. Because you're evaluating the pattern. The system is evaluating the reaction potential behind it. Now, bring it back to you. You believe you're an independent trader, but your behavior is shaped by what you've studied, what you've seen online, what the majority agrees is correct. You don't realize it, but you've been conditioned. And when millions are conditioned the same way, they become a massive liquidity pool. You're not hunted individually. You're harvested as part of a behavioral cluster. That's why clean levels get swept. Textbook entries underperform, not because they're wrong, because they're predictable. Algorithms don't fight you, they utilize your repetition. The more disciplined you are in a conventional way, the more readable you become. Here's the paradox most won't accept. The market rewards discipline, but only when that discipline is not synchronized with the crowd. If your discipline mirrors the majority, you lose edge. You become liquidity, and it goes deeper. These systems don't just read behavior, they learn continuously. What worked before degrades as adoption increases. Not because the market changes randomly, but because behavior has been absorbed and adjusted against. You think you're adapting to the market. In reality, you're trailing it. By the time you recognize a pattern, it has already been exploited, and the system has moved on. You are studying the past to engage with a system operating in the present. That's why it feels like what used to work no longer behaves the same. It's not that you've regressed. It's that you're operating in a system that evolves in response to you. At this point, the issue is no longer technical. It's positional. Are you the one anticipating or the one being anticipated? Are you reacting or being triggered to react? And the hardest question, if every common behavior is modeled, every weakness is targeted, every reaction can be induced, how do you survive? Not by being faster, not by being smarter in the conventional sense, but by recognizing that you are being observed and choosing to act in ways that don't produce easily exploitable data. That requires giving up something most traders cling to: the need to feel right, the urge to act on every clean setup, the belief that the market exists to validate your analysis. Instead, you accept a colder reality. You are operating inside a system where every decision you make can be converted into an advantage for the other side. You can't beat a system just by understanding it. Understanding only strips away naivety. Survival requires something far more difficult: the discipline to not react like the crowd. Everything in trading is engineered to make you react. Fast moves, expansion candles, clean breakouts, perfect pullbacks. All of it manufactures a very specific and very dangerous feeling: certainty. And that feeling is the entry point into the loop. You're not entering because of logic. You're entering because it feels like you can't afford to miss it. That's the moment you become liquidity. If the previous layer was about how the system reads behavior, this is the part most people resist. You cannot escape liquidity by finding better setups. You can only reduce becoming liquidity by changing how you participate. Not faster, not more, but less, slower, and with ruthless selectivity. Start with an uncomfortable truth. Most of what you see each day is not opportunity. It's a reaction test. The market doesn't need you to win. It needs you to participate. And the more you participate, the more data you leave behind. The more you trade, the more the system understands your behavioral type. Not you individually, but the pattern you belong to. You don't need to win every trade, but you must avoid becoming a predictable part of the flow. That's step one: reduce frequency. Not for capital preservation alone, but because every time you engage, you're stepping into a game where the other side has a behavioral read. You can't win a game where you show up at predictable moments. You have to become difficult to anticipate. But unpredictable does not mean random. It means you only engage when structure has already forced the majority into obvious positioning. Think about it this way: if you don't know who is trapped, you are the one being trapped. You're not looking for entries. You're looking for points where others lose optionality. That's the shift. You've seen this scenario hundreds of times. Price consolidates. A clear resistance forms. Multiple tests. Breakout traders line up. You see it too. You think, if it breaks, it runs. That's not wrong, but it's incomplete. How many are waiting for that exact moment? If the answer is a lot, then the first move is unlikely to be the real move. It's a trigger, a push higher to pull you in, then a reversal to force you out. Not because the market is against you, because it's the most efficient way to generate liquidity. You won't avoid this completely, but you can stop being first in line. You don't need to be early. You need to be present after the early participants are removed. That requires patience most traders don't have. You see the breakout, you wait. You see the sweep, you still wait. You wait until impatient participants are cleared, stops are triggered, the market no longer needs to reach further. That's when probabilities shift, not because the signal is prettier, but because easy liquidity has already been consumed. You're operating in an environment where the first move is often a trap, the second move is often the opportunity. But to capture the second, you must let go of the first. And that's where most fail, because it feels like I'm missing it. In reality, you're avoiding the bait. That's step two, redefine opportunity. Opportunity is not where price can move. Opportunity is where those who are wrong have already been forced out. You're not trading the signal, you're trading the consequence of the signal. A breakout is not the opportunity. It's the condition that creates a reaction. The opportunity is inside that reaction. Now your lens shifts. You stop asking, is there a setup? You start asking, who gets trapped if I'm right? If you can't answer that, you're trading blind. Step three, and this is where most break, accepting inaction, not from fear, but from clarity. Not every move deserves participation. You don't need to be present every day. You don't need to prove anything to the market. You need to survive long enough to encounter moments where asymmetry exists. Here's the paradox. The less you trade, the more out of control you feel, because you've been conditioned to act. Doing nothing creates discomfort, and that discomfort pulls you back into the loop. You see a decent setup, you take it, not because it's high quality, but because you can't tolerate inactivity. That's not trading, that's reflex. And reflex is the easiest pattern to model. The system doesn't need you to be completely wrong, it just needs you to act when you shouldn't. That's how liquidity persists. Now, profit. You don't make money by being right more often. You make money by participating only when asymmetry is meaningful. Not every trade deserves risk, but when you identify a condition where the crowd has just been cleared, structure is defined, liquidity has already been released, that's where probability tilts. Not certainty, but edge. You don't need many of these. You just need to avoid self-destruction when they're absent. That's the practical version of avoiding liquidity, not escaping every trap, but not dying from small traps, so you're alive for the real move. And finally, the part you can't avoid, you will still get stopped. You will still be wrong. The difference is you're no longer being harvested systematically. You're no longer predictable. You're no longer present where everyone else is. You begin to exist as an outlier, not because you're smarter, but because you refuse to behave like the majority. That's it. No hidden formula, no shortcut, just a decision. Continue reacting and remain liquidity, or accept discomfort and step outside the loop. If you've made it this far, you're starting to see trading for what it is. Not a game of price prediction, but a system of behavioral awareness, reaction control, and ruthless participation timing. And one final point you don't get to ignore. Trading is not forgiving. You can lose money. You can lose a lot of money. The market doesn't care who you are, what you've learned, or what you believe. It responds to behavior. And if behavior doesn't change, outcomes don't change. So the real question is no longer about finding a better entry. It's this: will you keep searching for precision, or will you become the kind of participant the system can't easily read?